since the dawn of betting. Now it can be enjoyed with any snack, sweet or salty. With this invention there is squat that is faulty. I look at my creation and I proudly wave my victory flag. It's like someone eating nuts, cause I just made the tea bag. The year is 1906, a more uncivilized time, where tea leaves were just infesting everywhere. The issue presenting itself was the leaves getting everywhere. Frustration of wanting to drink made it so unfair. All I want to do is enjoy the tasty water. Getting leaves in your teeth turns it to an enjoyment slaughter. Needs someone to come along and fix this heinous blot. Then I thought, that's me, I'm a genius on the spot. I need to cleanly move the leaves from point A to B. I need a contraption for this. Who's a genius? It's me. I'll get a piece of fabric attached to a string. You see what's back in my step? That's right, the spring. The leaves give the flavor without the fear of spreading. Now this is the greatest invention since the dawn of betting. Now it can be enjoyed with any snack, sweet or salty. With this invention there is squat that is faulty. I look at my creation and I proudly wave my victory flag. It's like someone eating nuts, cause I just made the tea bag. The year is 1906, a more uncivilized time, where tea leaves were just infesting everywhere. The issue presenting itself was the leaves getting everywhere. Frustration of wanting to drink made it so unfair. All I want to do is enjoy the tasty water. Getting leaves in your teeth turns it to an enjoyment slaughter. Needs someone to come along and fix this heinous blot. Then I thought, that's me, I'm a genius on the spot. I need to cleanly move the leaves from point A to B. I need a contraption for this. Who's a genius? It's me. I'll get a piece of fabric attached to a string. You see what's back in my step? That's right, the spring. The leaves give the flavor without the fear of spreading. Now
hello, I'm here with Fatma.
Hi.
Hi. Oh,
because
What's up?
jellicles can and jellicles do. Jellicles can and jellicle.
yeah, macaroni's here.
God damn it.
Playing. So we're going to do something a little bit. Oh, I woke up to piss. Okay, thanks, Mac. And have a good sleep. And we are going to do. God, they're chatting.
Nice.
No,
Night.
night. We're going to be doing true crime and more of an unsolved thing. And I'm actually going to be telling Fatma something that I haven't actually explained anything to her.
Yeah. So I have no idea what. All I know is that it was in Australia, and that's it.
Yes.
So
And it's unsolved.
Mario. Mario.
I couldn't turn these
Mario.
off.
okay.
And so it's unsolved. It is in the 50s.
Interesting time for our nation. Yes.
Yeah.
Yep.
And it's apparently the most notorious murder, but I've actually never heard of it until I looked it
That's
up.
what I was gonna say. I love true crime. I love unsolved mysteries.
Yeah.
And yet you never hear about them in this country. I don't know if we just kind of like brush them under the rug so we can go about our yeah, no, you never hear about these.
No, and it's very like, because you hear about them now, like not unsolved but solved ones,
Yeah.
because like the whole uproar about, oh, there goes my camera. The whole uproar about, oh no, the bail system and all that stuff. And that
Yeah.
actually leads me into how hard it was to look into this. And that's kind of the worrying thing that I got into, is that they keep going on about how they want to put more pressure and more emphasis on the media and like, we want to solve this, but it's not
Yeah.
out there.
Yeah, no, and it seems like the public has such a big role in, lack of a better word, mysteries. Like even with the recent, finally someone solving Zodiac Killer's notes, that was just done because a couple of people just knew about it. So if there's no public knowledge on it,
Yeah. Yeah, it's
hard to solve.
It's very, you have to, the public has to be knowledgeable about these things, but if we don't know it, then, with the time of publics, so I guess I'll just kind of, also, in saying that as well, I also have a browser thing where I don't look at anything that Murdoch has his money in. So at the same time, it's very hard because I'm not looking at Murdoch Press.
Yeah, so it's hard to find. In every.
Yeah, so I was looking really hard.
Yep, good on you for trying.
Yeah, so it's actually it's called the Wilston murder.
Okay.
And it's the murder of Betty Shanks.
Okay, rest in peace, Betty Shanks.
Yeah, so if you're looking at the stream, I've actually got a picture of her up.
Yeah. She looks like a very lovely, very pretty one. Woohoo!
Woohoo murder?
No!
Sorry, I know that was dark, but that was just the timing. But yeah, thank you, Stu. Love you too. But yes. Also, shout out to Stoop. If you haven't followed her, you should follow her. She's very funny. I mod for her. She's great. But yes, thank you, Crichton. I can't even pronounce my husband's name. But back to murder.
Yep.
And to my notes. Betty Shanks was actually like a year older than you. She was 22.
She's young. She's young.
Very young.
Oh, very unfortunate. Yeah.
Yeah, she this is going to make us both feel like shit.
They're great. Yeah, bring it on.
Yeah, she had a degree in arts psychology.
Yep.
In Queensland.
Uh-huh. That's actually pretty impressive considering the signs. Yeah.
Also, she had she was also doing night school to get another degree.
Go girl. Yep.
And she worked in government in the Department of Interior.
Okay.
Yeah, so in the 50s, it's really hard to do. My camera keeps focusing in and out. But but like, think of the time, like in the 50s, you're supposed to get married, have kids,
And she was out there getting herself an education.
Yeah, and like her friends, her family, they kept saying how diligent she was and how hardworking, and she just kept, And it's just, you just think of the type of person that was. And like, she was close to her father, she was close to her mother. So it's just all round. That's the type of person she was.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I just think, I don't know, it's just a very...
It seems almost like a too good to be true situation.
Yeah. And
like there's always something.
There is always something. And that is also my blind spot when I come to the media.
Yeah.
Because I'm looking at all the media, I'm looking through all these articles, and I'm like, okay, what else is in her life? Because that's all they talk about. How good of a person she was, what's going on. There's more to someone than their career.
Yeah, but it's also, you've got to consider, even now it happens. But back then, it wasn't a common thing. The war had just finished. Everyone's kind of relaxing for a minute, and then bang, murder. All people can think is, oh, don't speak ill of the dead.
Yeah.
So.
But it's like if she was working in another profession,
Yeah.
it'd be easy to speak ill of the dead.
Yes, it would.
That's all they, yeah, you know, with like the Ripper case, the Yorkshire Ripper. That's all they did. They spoke. Well, she works in sex work, so.
Yeah, that's true.
But, you know, like.
I mean, do you think they paid more attention just because she wasn't, you know, the typical woman to get murdered? She wasn't of the typical occupation, you know,
Well,
she didn't have the kind of reputation.
Well, that's what they keep saying. Like, you read all the newspapers, and it's like, this murder shocked it shocked the community because this is it's not typical that a girl like this gets murdered, and she's white, she's young, she's, you know.
Yeah.
And like, there's a lot with this one too that I have issues with. Like, it's not just the media, it's not just like the attention. It's like Madeline McCann, how she got so much attention.
Yeah.
But then around the corner there was another young girl who was taken, and they actually found her body. But no media attention was given to her because she was native to the area.
Yeah.
So, like, it's one of those types of things. So, it's like media, but at the same time, media focuses on what people want, what gives them money.
Yeah.
So it's a societal issue.
Mhm.
But it is what it is, you know?
Yeah, that's also true.
It's not just the media's problem, it is a societal problem.
Yeah, and, you know, people feel like they can get it.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, the authorities do have a role to play, and sometimes it's just not possible to fulfill that role, and sometimes, you know, you wonder if they just maybe let it slip through the cracks so it could be bothered.
Well, with this one, you do have to kind of blame the time where they didn't know how to, they weren't aware of, like, I'll explain more of what happened, but you can kind of see why it didn't get solved.
Yeah.
I can kind of understand why it didn't get solved.
Mm-hmm.
Like, the attention needed to be focused on it. Like, in America, money gets flooded into solving these things.
Yeah.
But this is why I get sad about it. Yeah. So going into what happened, I guess you would say, she was living with her parents, as, you know, the 50s. You know, you live with your parents until you get married. And she went into work that day, but she wasn't going to work.
Yeah.
So she'd had the flu.
Yeah.
So she'd just come back to work.
Okay, so she hasn't been to work in a few days.
No, like a week.
Okay. Yeah, like a week.
Yeah, and then she planned to go to the movies or the pictures, as I watched a documentary on this, and they called it the pictures, which I loved. I'm sorry, I shouldn't laugh, but I freaking loved it. And she planned to go to the pictures with a friend. And I'm going on a side track again, and I apologize.
No, go for it. I love some science.
But another thing that's not mentioned is that they keep going. She was a sister, a daughter, a friend, but there's never a mention of a sibling.
Okay.
Which this is something I find very odd about Australian murders. People aren't mentioned ever.
Yeah. Yeah, I get where you're coming from. I mean, they might just be doing it to protect the...
I agree with that, and I think that's fine. But
yeah,
there is hypocrisy in this, though. Which, again, I will get to in the future. They do mention someone, and it's always innocent till proved guilty, except when we have a a circumstance. Again, this is a wild ride.
Yeah.
Yeah, so yeah, none of like you find out the dad's name is David. That's it of the family that's mentioned. But
Yeah.
so then she goes to work, and like you do when you feel like you have to go to work because you have to go to school that night, kind of thing. So she goes to the lecture on Friday.
Mhm.
So her lecturer always gave her a ride home,
Okay.
which
Yep.
imagine that type of life where your lecturer.
I'm sorry. If you walked up to a lecturer nowadays, like, give me a ride home, he'd be like, ha, 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 ha. No.
Yeah, it's just like such a polite society where you're like,
Was it because, like, do you know, probably, was it like a majority? You would assume it's a majority. She's the only girl, or maybe a few. Maybe she's just a long drive home.
again, this is
She doesn't
very,
car.
it's like you don't get much information. All I know is, I don't even know what she was studying. I just know that she was doing night classes.
Yeah.
Her lecturer was like, I'll give you a ride home.
Mm-hmm.
So she was getting ride homes from her lecturer. But this night, he couldn't give her a ride all the way home because he had to go to a wedding.
Right.
Yeah. So he dropped her off at the tram station. And she had to wait 27 minutes for a tram.
Well, that's not an unreasonable amount of time, but yeah.
Yeah, but like, imagine waiting that long at 9 p.m. at night.
Yeah. Look, having done it myself, it's rough.
Yeah.
And I was I was at North Melbourne Station, crowded, security guards everywhere, it's well lit. I can't imagine.
Yeah, it's not the most fun.
No.
But it's like, and also in the 50s, there's like a different kind of tram as well.
Yeah.
I got to keep bringing it back to the 50s because it's not these days trams.
Yeah, no. I mean, I wasn't waiting for a tram, I was waiting for a train, but yeah, I get what you're coming from. You would not expect to see a woman on her own at a tram stop, waiting for however long it is, in basically, back then, virtually the middle of night.
Yeah.
I feel for her, I do, because that's, she must not have even known, she might not have even known. He might have just, okay.
You're breaking out.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. No, sorry. That'll be my shitty internet.
That's fine. It's Australia.
Yeah, that's true. For people who invented the internet, they didn't get very good.
No.
I was just saying, she might not have even known that, she was going to get dropped off at a tram stop. So she might have been caught off guard too, which obviously would make her uncomfortable and anxious and all that jazz.
Yeah, absolutely. And then like she gets onto the tram, and then she saw the motor car. What was it called? I've just got to check. Motor man. They called them a motor man. So the guy who checks the tickets and stuff.
Yep.
I just love like how it's such a
Classic
different time.
Met card, pre-Mikey days.
Yeah, it's just getting into the... Who's that? APOM. APOM. Yeah, this is true crime. Not the time, APOM. Yeah.
Someone got murdered. Plays Mario noise.
Yeah, plays Mario dies noise.
Yeah. Good choice.
Oh, APOM. Don't worry, no one's died yet.
No, just waiting at shady tram stops.
Yeah, waiting at shady tram stops. But yeah, So they're just at she sees the motorman and he confuses her with another girl.
Yeah.
So he knows her though. So it kind of like confirms that she did get on the tram,
Yeah.
which is kind of, you know, it helps build that timeline, helps acknowledge like where she was, what's going on. And
Yeah.
and then there was another girl 10 minutes before she got off the tram. So like it's very
So we know that for the majority of the tram ride,
we don't
she's not alone.
yeah, she's not alone. She's or not even that she's not alone, that she's oh hi Apalm. That she's not even that she's not alone, that people have seen her, that she is fine, that there's nothing kind of concerning her, that she's got a smile on her face.
Yeah.
And then another girl got on the tram. She gets off the tram. And that an hour before she was off the tram, her mum and her auntie walked to the tram station to drop her aunt off. So, like, there's all this coming back and forth. There's no one's seen anything suspicious. It's all, like, everything's fine.
So there must not be any like dangerous vibes, I guess, if they're sending off, you know, aunt as well. Like, it must be a normal thing for them. Maybe not the scariest thing.
Yeah, well, that's the thing. This is like the neighborhood where everyone keeps their doors unlocked. It's, you know, but it's in Brisbane.
It's the 50.
It's in Brisbane. It's in the city.
Yeah, you would never do that now. You would never do that.
No. And then when she gets off and starts to walk home, her parents have the light on waiting for her.
Yeah.
So, and then at just before 10 o'clock, people hear screams.
Yeah.
And a police officer who lives next door to her.
Yeah.
This is where I get really frustrated. And I'm like, oh my God. A police officer who lives next door to her hears screams and goes, oh, it's probably the kids over at the school.
You're a copper. What are you doing?
I know. I'm like, this is your job? Like, I know you're not on, like, I know that you're off duty.
No. Yeah, but like, look, if I was driving down the road and I saw a cow across the road, I would still herd it back into the paddock. Like, you know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
it's not, it's...
And it's like, when I hear screaming outside, I'm like,
go outside.
Do I call the police? I look outside. I'm like, it frustrates me that, and like that's not the biggest frustration of this either. Like, so, and he's not the only one that hears the screams. Like, it must have been a really like. That's what really gets me, is that so many people. It says sometime before 10 p.m. screams were heard by several residents.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it's like, I get that it's another time where it's like, keep to yourself, like all that stuff, but still. Anyway, so at 1:30 a.m. her parents reported her missing.
Yeah. Well, I mean, at least, you know, it didn't take them so long to notice.
I know, at least it's not like those, I don't know, again, I'm referring to another documentary, sorry, where those parents waited 2 weeks to report their kid missing.
Oh, yeah, I think I know which one you're talking about. Yeah, look, I mean, in situations like that, you kind of have to wonder what the hell were those parents thinking? Like, I mean, is it normal? Has it happened before? No. So why did you think it was normal this time?
Oh, that got to me so bad. I started screaming at the computer.
Yeah.
I'm like, if I have a child...
I come home, like, I'm a 20-year-old woman, right? Grown-ass person, licensed, career on her way, you know. if I come home an hour later than I'm supposed to, I get 40 calls from my mum. So,
Yeah. Ooh! Apom! Thank you, Apom. Thank you. But yeah, though, that really... I don't know, I just... It gets to me, though.
Yeah.
But... They did end up seeing something when they looked out. And there was a a man in a brown suit that was just like walking around. So when they put out calls for him to come forward, he never did.
Yeah.
So that's literally all they have.
Yeah.
But in the morning, they found her body in the yard next to the police officer's house.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
my immediate thought, this cop, the house, she's found in the house next door to his.
Yeah,
he didn't report the murder, he didn't report the screaming, he's a little sus.
Yeah, well, I'm jumping forward a bit here, but there is a detective who thinks that this is a cover-up.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
I'm glad someone's doing the job.
Yeah. I know. Like,
Okay.
One of the detectives is like, if there's ever a crime where there's a cover-up, this is the one that's covered.
Yeah.
So...
I mean, like, I love my cop shows and all that stuff, but it's just TV. But, like, I still feel like, to a certain degree, if something like that happens around a police officer, and they weren't the first people to respond properly, it's always going to look suspicious.
Oh, it looks terrible.
Yeah.
I just don't understand how he's like, oh, I heard noises, I looked out the window, there was nothing there.
Yeah.
But it was in the neighbour's yard.
Yeah.
But,
Yeah.
I don't know. But I don't like explaining what happened to her, but then I feel like it's a disservice if I don't.
Yeah, I understand what you mean.
But she was badly beaten.
Yeah.
And she died from strangulation.
Yeah.
And
so she didn't have a quick death.
No, it was not quick.
No.
And this line really pisses me off as well.
Yeah.
I hate when they say this. They say, although her underwear had been removed, there was no evidence of sexual assault.
Removing one's underwear without their consent is sexual assault.
Thank you. Thank you. I'm not laughing because it's funny.
No, you're laughing because it is such an obvious lapse in that reporter's judgment to state something like that.
Because most of the reporters that do these are male, and it was...
Yes.
Yeah, and like I've been watching a lot of crime documentaries forever. I was going to say lately, but forever.
Yeah.
But the ones lately... The ones lately have had a lot of female reporters saying it's only been lately that female reporters have been allowed to do crime.
Yeah, I mean, I can see how that, they're like, oh, this is unsafe. You are a woman. You cannot possibly want to dabble in such sour subjects.
Yeah.
If you get what I'm saying.
Yeah, I get that, but like...
they've always ended up with fluff pieces, and I'm sure to the chagrin of all females, that's just what they got.
But, we need to have a place to explain, seeing as we are, the most to be murdered.
Yes.
We're not the most to be murdered, but we're the most to be murdered by, our partners or our, Yeah, in those kind of fashions. Because men on men murder is, like, more likely. But...
Yeah.
It's hard to explain.
No, I get what you're saying, but I think that the reason it might feel like that because, like, just with like a quick Google search, like, the majority of murder victims, but that doesn't consider suicides, and a lot of women in abusive relationships and in situations like that will resort to suicide, and personally, I feel like that is,
Yeah.
um, so
It is such a complex thing though, like that whole
yeah,
thing. This is exactly what I told you before we started. I'm gonna go off
yeah.
on tangents.
But hey, you know what though? If there was ever a time to go off on a tangent, it is to regard the fact that Australia's media.
Yeah. I haven't
I
even
mean,
started on the big rant I want to do on the media of the
yeah.
50s because I'm so mad. Oh, I forgot to actually show the picture of. Oh, this is the area here
Yeah.
of where. this
So
all
very
went down.
central,
Yeah.
really central. You would never ever leave your door unlocked in that kind of an area now.
Now, it's right near
Um,
Fortitude Valley.
yeah, yeah. No, you would not. You would not consider that. I mean, obviously, I'm not from Brisbane. I don't know for sure, and I
Okay.
shouldn't make generalizations. But I can assume that's not an area that you would particularly find it safe.
As someone who lived in Brisbane
Yeah,
for a good chunk,
yeah.
Fortitude Valley is like the kind of. There's like a big nightclubby area.
Uh-huh. Yeah. So yeah, I get where you're coming from. It's not yes.
It's not where you
Yeah.
would. Yeah. It's.
I mean, you got to wonder if that's what it was like back then.
Oh no, it's not. They talk about how it was like very small and it wasn't built up.
Yeah.
Like, Pat still says it's like a small town feel.
Yeah.
When he goes
well,
to
it's
Brisbane.
kind of hard to shake that when you live right next door to Brisbane, yeah.
Yeah, so. Yeah, but I'll get back into this terrible, terrible murder. She. It wasn't like. Her stuff wasn't taken. No, it wasn't a robbery.
Mm.
So, the jewelry and handbag were not taken, although the contents of a handbag were scattered all over the yard. So it was made to look like it.
Or was he looking for something? Like, I feel like, I don't know, being a bit next to him. Either, yeah, I would suspect it would either be made to look like a robbery or a successful one. It's just that whatever they were taking was very obvious to the attack.
Well, that goes into the theory because I've put out what the main theories are later.
Yeah.
But there is a theory based around that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Her gold wristwatch had stopped at 9:53.
Okay.
Like, if it was stomped on or something, it would stop at that time.
Okay.
So it kind of gives.
I mean,
you...
was it one of those? Was it one of those watches where it works as long as you move, and then as soon as you stop moving, until it just stops working?
This is the 50s.
I don't know, man. I don't know when watches were fixed. I've still got one of those watches. I mean, it's from my great.
I don't know. It was like a. I looked at it on the documentary. They showed it, and it's like an old timey, like really delicate gold wristwatch. Like it was really delicate.
Was it really like small?
Yes.
I would argue then probably it was.
Okay. Well, they said that it looked like it'd been stomped on.
Okay. Well, that's different.
Yeah. And it said that it was 21 minutes after she left the tram station. So, but the tram station was only like 2 minutes away from her house. So it's very.
I mean, if there's the possibility that maybe she hung around outside talking to someone.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's not in the like possible theories though, because. And this is. Oh, it is in one of the possible theories. Never mind. But this is again the problem with like the media. They don't talk about her past,
Yeah.
so you don't know and you can't look into it. But yeah, there was mysterious DNA from Betty's killer, like and bloody handprints they found on the timber fence.
Mhm.
So again, this goes back to something that we talked about when you were here the other day. DNA is not 100%.
No.
Everyone has like this DNA theory where it's like, if you've got the DNA, you've got the killer. That doesn't work.
Yeah.
As much as people like to think. Like, it works out if you've, got like kind of an idea of who you're going after.
Yeah, if you've got, some form of DNA from their family.
Yeah, if
To
you've got...
say, this person is likely to be the DNA, but you can't be certain.
Exactly, but it's not 100%. And that's why, like, when people go to jail because of DNA, they're like, and people are like, well, we've got them. It's like, no, DNA can cancel someone out.
Yeah.
But it's a little bit more complicated. That's why it's like, it's so complicated. I struggle with it because I'm not 100% on it.
Yeah.
I don't know the full goings on. I can see someone behind my thing.
Yeah.
There we go.
Nice.
But yeah, I'm just, yeah. I'm going, yeah. No, because someone recently went to jail for rape with confirmed DNA. And then they did a retrial and did the DNA again with better technology.
Yeah.
And it cancelled them out. And that's
Okay.
what I mean. Like, it's, as the technology goes on, it's going to get better and better. But
Yeah, but at the moment...
at the moment, we're not 100% on it.
Yeah.
It's pretty good. Like, we
But it's
got...
not perfect.
Yeah, we got the Golden State Killer on it.
Yeah.
Which was pretty insane.
Yes. Yeah.
Me with my ramblings. But yeah, which is like, we've got mysterious DNA, but yeah, we haven't got anyone on that either. Which is why if you suspect anyone in your family to have committed anything, I suggest getting a test, one of those, what are they called?
History thing?
Yeah, those history things where you find out where
I've always wanted to do one of those.
do it because you can get someone, if you think someone in your family's done something.
I don't know. I might do it just because I want to know my ancestry, but sure.
Two birds, one stone.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I'm doing.
Yeah.
And then,
No.
so yeah. Also, they said the guy in the suit, the brown suit, apparently had a moon face. Don't know what that means.
I have no idea what that means.
Yeah, who apparently jumped the fence at the murder spot at 10:30 on Friday night.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, I'm going to show you something that's going to make you real mad.
I've Googled it. And wait, what? Okay. Let's read it.
See that picture?
Yeah.
That's reporters and detectives all together at the fence. That's contaminating.
Oh yeah, very much.
That's contaminating a crime
And
scene.
I'd like to point out there is not a glove or mask on any of them.
Yup. And
Let alone those plastic shoe cover things
yeah,
or glasses
yeah,
or any kind of clothing protective because you can lose fibers of hair, skin cells.
yeah.
My heart,
I know.
it hurt.
I know. And they're like, nationwide search for a sex killer. I'm like, make up your mind.
Did she get abused or not?
Yeah, I know.
I mean, you guys have. Yeah, okay, that's annoying.
And that's another thing that I read too. Like, the first thing that they did was go to all the mental institutions and interview everyone there. I'm like, but they're all in, like, locked in mental institutions.
Yeah, look, I mean, you have. I don't like giving them the benefit of the doubt, but, it. I don't even know if I'd call it benefit of the doubt, but, this was the start of murders in this kind of fashion. So, and obviously at that point in time, they had very limited knowledge on mental illness,
Anything.
ignoring, and anything really, yeah. Ignoring the fact that they, probably had no experience in any of this, and they had no real understanding, um, and ignoring the fact that it was probably a cover up. It's not unreasonable for them in that time frame to go to a mental institute and assume that someone that was, and I say this with quotation marks, crazy, did it.
Yeah.
Right?
I hate that. But please remember that in the 50s, if you're in a mental institution, you were
Probably just a normal person.
no,
Yeah.
you were probably a wife.
Yeah, that too.
You were a wife that some man got sick of.
That's also very true.
Yeah, or you were homeless.
Yeah, that's also true. They did have a very high population.
Yeah. Like, until the 70s, I think it was, or the early 80s, it was very much like you were criminally insane mixed in with wives that wouldn't clean the house the way the men wanted it, or, yeah, it was, again, my tangents. Congratulations.
Yeah, but like, honestly, it's good, it's fine. But you also want to point out that it didn't even have to be that the woman was doing anything wrong. She might have just wanted some kind of independence, or had, sexual interests that perhaps the man didn't like.
Or the man had
And
sexual interests that the society
woman
didn't
didn't like.
Society
Yeah.
didn't like.
So, that alone could get you in one of them.
It's just, like, it was a wild time. Like, I like their fashion, but geez, they were horrible back then.
Yeah. I mean, I want to point out also at the end of this little clip, it says all night vigil. I mean, someone just got murdered, at night, and you guys are running an all night vigil. Are you kidding me?
Also, there was also bits in papers, because I was reading a lot of papers that looked like this.
Yeah.
A lot of papers that were saying women should learn to not go out at night.
Yeah.
Which
Yeah, that's such a typical. Yeah.
Which I was like, oh my god, I can't believe they said that back then. And then I thought about, no, they said that
Now?
they said that in Melbourne like last year.
Yeah, they say that all the time.
I was just like, no, they said that like last year, like when that murder happened. Oh, it wasn't last year, it was 2 years ago. When that murder happened just down the road.
Well, yeah, I mean, there was a girl that got that someone had kidnapped. Maybe, I don't know, 5Ks from where I live.
Yeah.
Or where I lived at the time. In 2018, I was in year 12, and it was a girl that was my age. She was at the library. She studied till they closed on a Friday night. She walked home, and on her walk home, she got kidnapped. Yeah. That is not a girl going out at night. That is a girl going home from doing something that she's supposed to be doing that most students will not do. So, for people to say women don't belong outside, it's just so arcane.
Well, that's like the comedian who was walking home.
Yeah.
It's just like, women should be careful. Like, I was thinking about this. That's one of the worst things from my childhood that I grew up thinking. Because until probably a couple of years ago, I used to think that.
Yeah.
Unless
I mean, I didn't really start going out at night until this year, and I'm 20 now, and I had the opportunities for a long time before that. Even trips with my family, when I was a younger teenager, we would avoid going.
Yeah, it's just like, unless there's a big, strong man with you.
Exactly.
How dare you? How dare you think you have the right to be outside by yourself?
Yeah. Or how selfish of you for you to want.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that's something that I really got growing up. That was just,
Yeah, and it's just a shame that this girl's murder got turned into an opportunity for people to spout nonsense like that.
well, if you see in the corner, they have death of an Ipswich doctor. Yeah? Do you see that?
Yeah, I can see the death of the Ipswich doctor.
Well, the police took that as a something to run with,
Yeah.
and they decided to try and pin it on him. And that's what
There's
I.
no correlation whatsoever.
Nah, he committed suicide.
Yeah.
So they decided 3 days after this guy committed suicide. So they decided to pin it on him, and everyone knows this guy's name, and he's the only name that you will know. And this is Dr. Carter.
Yeah.
And he is actually the only person I know of that has had his DNA run against the DNA.
Yeah.
And people still think he's guilty because his name has been out there.
Yeah, yeah. Like, I mean, I can't honestly tell you I've heard about any of this.
Yeah.
I feel like I've seen his face.
Yeah. But
Just
his son is absolutely shattered because of this whole thing. Because on
as any child would be.
on the 22nd of September, so 3 days after Betty's death. I don't know if I mentioned it was on the 19th of September that Betty died.
You haven't.
Yes.
Yeah.
A man called Donald Carter committed suicide.
Yeah.
He was a well-known doctor.
Was there a note?
No one. Again, this is something that's not mentioned,
Yeah.
and nothing has been mentioned about like anything other than he committed suicide. And they started connecting the wrong dots to him. And his son was in grade 3 when he committed suicide.
Very young.
Yeah. And he was only he didn't know he committed suicide until he was 19.
Yeah.
And so they finally checked the DNA, like, I think it was early 2000s. So he was well known as a suspect
Yeah.
and only cleared in 2000.
Yeah, that's rough.
Yeah.
That's rough, yeah.
It's just...
I mean... It's on one hand, look, it's a relief to know that they're still looking for the truth. But on the other hand, you know, this man probably had a real reason for why he killed himself, and nobody really gave him the light of day, you know, and that's just a shame.
Well, that's what really upsets me about it, is, like, because of his son, like, being so messed up about all of this, his son thinks he was murdered. His son says that, okay, this is the exact line, I've got it here.
Yeah.
It was a double murder, and I believe the same person was responsible, whereas the evidence, our father committed suicide.
Yeah, so there was no note. There had to have been no note for him to say, where's the evidence?
Yeah.
And you know, look, scientifically, psychologically, it's proven if someone's going to commit suicide, they will be note or something in majority of cases.
Yeah.
And, you know, it's true. If it was a cover-up, you know, it's reasonable to assume that maybe they realize, shit, I don't know how I'm going to protect my identity, kills off some random person, happened to be Dr. Carter, blamed it on him.
Maybe. I think it's more along the lines of, like, you never know. You know what I mean? Like, I don't want to drag some poor family into it.
Yeah.
Like, he still could commit suicide and not leave a note. He could have had a drug overdose. Like...
That's true.
Like, you just don't know. Like,
Yeah.
I don't want to drag him into it. I just want to say I feel sorry for him. I
Yeah.
want him to get the rest that he deserves.
Yeah.
I want him to be cleared. I want when people to see that, see his name, to know that he's innocent because he has been cleared.
Mm.
Like,
And look, I mean, when you look in his eyes, I know it's just a phone, and I could just be. I think there's no malice in my personal opinion.
yeah.
I don't think he looks like someone who could secretly be a murderer, but I don't know.
As someone
Look, I understand where you're coming from. Who's like, that where you don't want to drag the family into it. They've been through it.
yeah.
And the truth is, it's a very realistic possibility that his name was only mixed up into it because he happened to have committed suicide during everything else that's going on.
Yeah, I just feel sympathy. Hey, Lax.
Yeah. Hello.
I feel so sympathetic to people who just like lose everything and then just get dragged into another shit show. That's just heartbreaking.
Yeah.
It's unnecessary, and yeah.
Yeah.
But then
It is.
the next theory is absolutely batshit crazy, and I don't get it.
Yeah.
Okay. Another theory is that she was run over by a motorcycle. Run over by a motorcycle, thrown onto a fence, and strangled. And somehow...
I'm sorry. I can't.
I can't hear you.
Is this better?
Yeah.
So, I'm not laughing at the fact that she died. I'm laughing at the fact that they think...
Yep, you're gone again.
Oh, come on! What about now?
Got ya.
Okay. I'm laughing because I thought that it was kind of ridiculous that they should think that this motorcycle took her underwear off.
Uh-huh. And strangled her?
And strangled her, and look, to be completely honest, let's be truthful here, probably raped her too.
Yeah.
And that was a theory. Seriously. I mean, she's probably looking down from wherever heaven she's in, whatever afterlife, and being like, seriously?
Yeah. And they're like, oh yeah, because the force of a motorcycle could throw her that far. That's what they're saying.
Like, throw her far from where, though?
From the road.
So they were assuming she was on the road.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I mean, sure, maybe a motorcycle could hit her, but I mean, in a situation like that, there's going to be tread marks. There's going to be more noise. People heard screams. They didn't hear a motor.
Yeah. And then they said, the people who are saying this theory are like, well, then maybe the person came back and strangled her and then kicked her.
Right.
I'm not laughing at her. I'm laughing at how stupid that is.
Yeah, no, that is just dense. Man, come on. Yeah, no. Oh, yeah, no. She got hit with a motorbike. And, that resulted in strangulation. That makes sense.
There's actually a whole book about this.
God.
There is
Anyway, tell me more about this stupid theory. Tell me, please.
That is it.
Yeah, see, that's my point. I'm sorry. If the whole theory is, she got hit with a motorbike, that's not the theory.
Yeah.
It's just some dumbass sitting at his desk going, oh, but what if? No.
I'd like to give the person credit for their theory. Their name is Lyle Reed. They have a book called I Know Who Killed Betty Shanks. And they think that their father did it.
Oh, right. Yeah, no, I love that. A good, my dad did the murder thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. The next person. See, this is the thing. Like, there's so many people who are like, I'm a reporter, so I know it. And just come up with like really dumb shit, because that person's a reporter too. This person also a reporter. Okay. Ken Blanche, the veteran former Telegraph reporter, who was also at the fucking crime scene.
Yeah.
Yep, the one who didn't have any covering.
Yep.
Said a former army driver was questioned by detectives in 52, trying to lure a teenage girl into his army vehicle on the Gold Coast.
Yeah.
Solid.
Right.
Yep. So he wanted someone else to dob this guy into the police.
Yeah, he didn't want to get his hands dirty.
Yeah.
Um.
To do DNA testing.
Yeah.
So apparently this guy, who no one has named, so that's what I mean. No one names other people, but, you know, let's name the dead guy. But yeah, he goes, I think it was a soldier. He was a bloke who had allegedly committed an offence against a woman on the Gold Coast 3 months earlier before Betty was attacked.
Okay, so he's got a history.
Yes, but, okay. This is like the whole... This is the whole thing where if attacks happen, you just jump on the closest serial killer and go, they did it.
Yeah.
Is there...
I can...
It's like, is there proof that that person was in Brisbane, in the area?
Oh, so he's not even local.
We don't... He was on Gold Coast. This is in Brisbane.
Yeah, that's a big base difference. If it was like, you know, closer...
It's like, is this his MO?
I mean...
The other person was attacked. They didn't kill him.
Yeah.
Like, I know that people, you know...
Yeah, but there's no connection. There's no connection to the victim.
Yeah, like, I get that MOs, like, expand, get different, all that kind of thing, but there's nothing linking.
Yeah.
And that's why I'm like, that's cool, but you're just grouping two attacks together because they're attacks.
I mean, look, nowadays a trip from Brisbane to the Gold Coast is going to take, like, 1 hour, 2 hours at most.
Yeah, but back then it was so much longer.
It was, right. Okay.
Yeah. So, it's just, you know, and also, Ken Blanche also wrote a book.
Yeah.
These people are just writing books.
Yeah, well.
So,
why not?
He also wrote Who Killed Betty Shanks. So, we have I Know Who Killed Betty Shanks and I Killed Betty Shanks. I mean, who killed Betty Shanks, not I killed.
Was that a confession?
Yes. Anyway, theory 4. And this is the one I'm more likely to believe. It's not as exciting. But
Reality is rarely exciting.
No, it's like, what's the more logical? What's less exciting? But I'll go with, I think it's more believable. Many people, including journalists who have covered the case, believe that Betty Shanks has gotten out of a past relationship. Like I said, you know, we didn't know this. There's no information on this.
Yeah. But
here it is. With the alleged killer. Apparently was stalking her.
Right, so it's hard to know whether this is actually true because nobody has actually put this in any police reports or anything like that.
Well, here's the thing. Journalists have said that this is the case.
Okay.
So
a majority.
Yeah, most credible journalists have said that she was in a relationship, but they haven't.
Okay. Well, look, it's not unreasonable to assume that a 22-year-old is going to have past.
Yeah.
So
the thing is, they won't write about it because then it makes her not look as saintly.
Yeah.
You know? Because they tried to make her look so saintly and all that stuff. But if she was, you know, in a past relationship, oh no, she's not like a virgin, pure.
Virgin when she gets married.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But, yeah, as mentioned, Shanks was only a few metres from the house in which both her parents lived.
Yeah, so it was very reasonable for her to be speaking to someone else. So things get violent, he throws her around a bit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's also
Yeah, as sucky as that is probably the most realistic
yeah,
outcome.
it's more likely that it's just more violence against women.
Yeah, I mean, definitely more realistic than blaming it on a doctor. Just
Oh, Smarfy! Oh, thank you. Thank you, Smarfy. I'm talking about violence against women. Love you though, Smarfy. No, but I think this is more realistic. I think that if she was, love you, Smarfy. If she was in a relationship with someone and they said
yeah,
that, she was in a really respectable family in a really respectable area and she was
Yeah.
dating someone before, wouldn't he also be a very respectable guy who maybe knew the police, maybe was a police officer? I know I'm jumping conclusions here.
yeah. I mean, but you're not jumping any more than they.
Like, at least I don't think that she was hit by a fucking motorcycle.
That's true. That was so random. I mean, how common could they have possibly been back then? Like,
Ugh.
especially in a small town like Brisbane, because that is what it was back then. It was definitely.
Here's the line that I've actually put it in my notes. Detective Ted Chandler, one of the members of the task force who visited the murder scene, said in his memoirs, oh my god,
Yeah.
I pardon myself, that if a murderer was ever protected, this is the one.
Right.
So he thinks
He's a cop.
yeah, he's a detective.
Yeah. Oh. Oh, icky.
Yeah.
Okay. Conspiracy theory. What if the cop that lived next door was the one that had the secret relationship?
Hey, I like that.
I mean, look, I mean, it's just a theory. Obviously, I have no real facts to support my theory. But, think about it. The guy doesn't hear anything, doesn't report anything. It's like if he did it in his own front yard and then just dragged it.
Yeah. Also, someone who, the person that the Thomas Street affair. I was just reading the book things. The Ted Durr theorized that Eric Sterry killed Shanks. I don't know who Eric Sterry is.
Is that the cop's name?
Not that I know of. I don't know. I tried to Google it. I can't find anything.
Yeah.
But we'll work it out.
Yeah.
I'll find something. But no, it's just we're being killed earlier on our way home rather than right beside a house. No, but like people say, right, that if she was stalked, she would have been killed earlier.
See, that's where my thing, because if it's a crime of passion, right? She was beaten a lot.
Yeah.
So
I agree with that.
I don't think that this guy would have been stalking her, waiting for her to secretly planned out this premeditated murder.
No,
when likely what it was, he wanted to have sex and she.
Yeah, like I think that he was waiting for her on her way home, but before her house so that her parents didn't know.
Yeah.
Like, I'm always the person that's like, the logical, like, what's it? The most logical answer is probably the right one.
Yeah.
So, like, a boyfriend, an ex-boyfriend, you know.
Yeah, I mean, the husband or the wife is always one.
Yeah. It's always the husband.
Yeah. Look, I agree with you. I think that the theory that it was a secret lover of some kind or an ex-boyfriend or even just a current boyfriend is the one that did it.
Yeah.
I like my theory.
I do like your theory.
I think the cop did it. I think her and the cop had a little something going on inside. You know, maybe he was drunk. And I'm just throwing things out here now. You know, and these things, look, it's realistic. He might have just done it by accident and then panicked and then just yeeted her across the yard. So, no, not to sound blunt, but
Oh my god!
I mean, look, I'm just mad. I'm mad for her.
I'm so mad for her.
I'm mad at the cop.
I'm just gonna put my references while you talk.
Yeah. I feel like, you know, it seems like such an open and shut case if they had done their job.
Oh my
Instead
god,
of
yes.
wasting their time with, you know, some doctor that committed suicide or, you know, whatever the case was, the motorbike. Friggin', they probably
love the motorbike
went and searched.
theory.
They probably went and looked through everyone with a motorbike register. It just sounds like a shit show.
Oh, it's so stupid.
And she just looks so happy too. Like,
yeah.
you know, it doesn't seem like she's got, you know, I can totally see her sneaking out of the house to meet up with her secret friend. Like, I can see it.
Yeah.
She's a 20-something-year-old, you know, she's young.
Also, when you're like 20-something, you should not be being forced to not go out and date.
That's also true. You know, you need to live your life. And especially at her time, like, again, everything was kind of re-establishing itself. You know, it was, and look, for Australia, we weren't really much part of the Cold War or anything, so we didn't have too much that influence here. So, you know, for Australia at that time, it was more of just, you know, pulling ourselves together and re-establishing our country. So there was lots of opportunities for young women and young men to go out and get themselves, you know. So, you know, I don't think she did anything wrong.
No, like, even if she was like going out and doing all the hard drugs, I don't care.
I mean, she shouldn't have been murdered for this.
No one deserves to be murdered for anything. Unpopular opinion. I don't believe that anyone deserves to be murdered.
I don't even think murderers should be.
You're cutting out with your opinions.
Yeah, with my shitty opinion.
Your shitty opinion. No, I just feel like, even if, like, it's so sad that it's been 68 years.
Yeah.
And nothing.
Mind you, now, if she was still alive, she'd be well and truly in her 80s.
Mm-hmm.
You know.
She'd be 90.
90? Yeah, math. What is that?
She would have had a long, happy life.
Yeah, she would have.
She would have been something. And I think that's why it happened, because the world could not have dealt with such a strong badass.
Yeah, definitely a badass of that.
Yeah. So, but yeah, if you know anything, there's the numbers.
Yeah.
Just
make sure you put the Australia 6-1.
If you're overseas for some reason.
If you're overseas, and for some reason you've seen this woman.
Yeah. If she has haunted your nightmares.
She came back like the haunting of Hill House to be like, yo, I'm dead.
Yo, I'm dead. This is her murdered me.
Yeah. I see what you mean by that. This was a rough. It is rough.
It is
rough. It is a rough one. But you know what? Like, after listening to this story, it kind of makes sense why it's so hard for us to have our unsolved story be solved, because it's just that people dealt with this stuff so badly.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, the evidence was completely destroyed before, you know, whoever lab techs were that was supposed to even collect it.
And it makes you wonder if the DNA is even, like, okay.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, I get what you're saying. But, it's just a shame that, you know, because we have so many stories.
Yeah.
And nobody really hears about it. I feel like the most popular ones are, like, you know, the Golden State Killer, you know, the Somerton Man.
The Somerton Man, though, ugh.
That's a rough story.
That's a rough one. Already know it. He's a spy.
Oh, yeah, I don't even think he was really Australian. So, I don't even know if that counts as an us murder, but
No, it's not.
nah. So,
I'm gonna go through all the unsolved first before I get into any
Yeah.
others. So if you want well-known ones, don't watch me.
yeah.
I want to go through all the because I went on Wikipedia
Yeah.
and oh my god,
Yeah.
I don't know any of them.
Fell down the rabbit hole there, did we?
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Yeah, there's a lot.
And why are we not advertising these?
Because nobody likes to advertise the fact that they failed.
But it's important.
Not to mention that, some families, they just need to move on in order to find some kind of closure, because obviously stuff like this is so traumatic to them.
I guess I shouldn't do it then.
No, I mean, you go for it, man.
I just
It doesn't change the fact that these murderers got away.
yeah.
I mean, what if this guy, there is a, albeit small but real possibility that whoever killed her is still alive. If he was the same age as her, he was slightly younger.
I doubt he's alive. Like highly.
I doubt it too. I highly doubt it too, but it doesn't change the fact that stuff like this, just because it's old, doesn't mean that it should be ignored.
That's the reason why I felt comfortable doing this one, because
Yeah.
it's very likely that the guy is dead,
Yeah.
and he won't come after me.
He'll just look you up in the yellow pages.
Yeah, he can't come after me if he's already dead.
Yeah, that's true.
Oh, it's so good. No, but I just couldn't get over it. It's just
Motorbike. Yep.
like it's like the staircase.
Yeah.
I don't know if you heard about the staircase theory.
No.
Okay. Do you know the staircase at least?
No.
Okay. Well, staircase.
I know what a staircase is.
Okay. We're gonna go into so many stories like in this one thing. I'm so sorry.
That's okay.
The staircase is I don't even remember the names of them, so this is bad. This man found his wife bleeding profusely from her head at the bottom of a very large staircase, and she died. But when the ambulance got there, they said that the blood was brown, like it dried,
Like old blood.
like
yeah.
old blood. And
Yeah, it takes a while, assuming this is a big puddle,
yeah, it was
for
big.
that to dry up.
It was
yeah.
big, and there was blood on the walls. There was splashes, and yeah,
Ugh.
yeah, it was like this big thing. And also, he's a very famous author. And yeah, it was like very complicated. Anyway, when they went to trial, turns out, I shouldn't laugh. I'm so bad. I get nervous.
Yeah.
Turns out his daughters that he adopted came from a woman who also died from falling down a staircase.
Right.
Yeah. So in Germany, but that got said that was from a brain aneurysm.
Yeah.
So yeah.
But- Yeah. Okay. Well.
Yeah, it's very
If there's blood on the walls, all I'm saying is if there's blood on the walls, she didn't die falling down some stairs.
yeah. Anyway, because it was in the 70s, I think, or 80s.
Yeah.
They brought up the fact that he was bisexual a lot.
Irrelevant. Okay. Yeah.
It's not irrelevant because he was having sex with men behind his wife's back.
So the only real relevancy then is that, you know, maybe someone that he was seeing got jealous because she was with him.
It's reporting in high news.
Nice.
It's only the only irrelevancy is that it was a man. The relevancy is that he was cheating.
Yeah, I get what you're saying.
Yeah.
He was cheating, so it could have been anyone that he was seeing.
Yeah.
The fact that the person he was seeing was male.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
what I would do in that circumstance is not say what gender it was.
Yeah, I would just say that he's affair.
Yeah, he was having an affair, but they brought the man on stand.
Oh,
Yeah,
rough.
it was so
That's
rough. Anyway,
And in a time like that, Jesus, I would not wish that on him.
and it was in a South USA. Yeah, it was like really like
Hibbity jibbities, no thank you.
yeah, and so he ended up getting found guilty, but then they appealed. Okay, thanks,
Yeah.
news.
Bye.
Bye.
Yeah.
Yeah, so they appealed, and he got an Alfred plea,
Which is?
which is an Alfred plea in America is where you say you did it, but you do time served.
Okay.
So you just say you did. Oh no, you don't have to say you did it.
Yeah, but you still serve time.
Yeah, but you
that
still
makes
don't.
sense.
Yeah, you're like
Yeah.
you have enough to say that I did it.
But I will not admit the fact.
Yeah. So it's all good, everyone's fine. But when they were going to go to trial, and this is the theory that I have. Oh my god, I'm so in love with this. It's so bad. Okay, the next door neighbor saw a owl fly into the house.
Huh?
An owl.
Yeah, that sounds real. Go on.
Anyway, they found owl feathers in her hair.
Okay.
So the defense was going to say that an owl killed her.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, nah, that's not real.
No. Because
Yeah.
the marks on the back of her head were like deep lacerations.
Okay. So she could have gotten attacked by an owl, but I mean, the owl feathers could have come from jewelry too. Like, it's not uncommon for you to use real birds in jewelry or hats.
And they're really rich.
Yeah. Yeah, that's what. Yeah, totally. An owl flew in through a window. No, better yet, flew down the chimney
Yeah.
into the fireplace that was lit, and then attacked her flatmate.
Yeah. Oh, it's so good. It's the best theory I've ever heard of any murder.
Yeah.
It's so dumb. It's literally the dumbest shit.
That is stupid.
Shark bait, hoo ha ha. It's good. We are
Some brother shark bait.
welcome, brother shark bait. No, we just finished doing the murder, and now I'm going off on tangents about other murders for no fucking reason. I was just talking about the owl theory on the staircase, which is insane.
An owl killed someone. That makes sense.
That's,
Not at all the jealous cheating husband.
oh, he's,
Or the jealous cheating husband's boyfriend.
he wasn't a boyfriend. He was an escort. He was a male escort. He used to pay people to have sex.
Yeah.
But yeah, he was and it's just so dumb. So dumb. It's
Well, thank you for telling me about this wonderful murder in a not so wonderful time, I guess.
You want to do it again next week?
Absolutely.
Yes, 28th?
28 sounds good.
Yes.
Yeah.
I'm so excited. Thank you all for being here. Oh, I'm so pumped. This is great. I love informing stuff. Like,
Yeah. And I love hearing about it. So.
oh,
And you just never get to hear about true crime stories in Australia. You just don't get to
No.
hear about them.
or by an Australian.
Yeah.
That's why I did it.
Because we like to hide our shit. It's fine.
Yeah, and like I just felt like we needed to kind of, because I looked this one up too on YouTube, and there was a class project documentary
Yeah.
and an ASMR,
What?
and that's it.
What do you mean by an ASMR?
Someone told it in like this ASMR voice.
Well, that's just upsetting.
It was really upsetting.
Why would you turn someone's murder into an ASMR? That is just wow. Okay.
Oh, like to each their own. Like
To their own, yeah.
There was like people do comedy around it. People do all these different things, and I'm fine with all of that. It's just that
Some of the theories are so ridiculous that they might as well be.
Oh my god, a motorbike though.
Yeah, no, a motorbike, hit her at such a way that, she got strangled and her underwear came off. That makes sense.
Oh my god. It's just, it's insane. I do though want to do one solved murder one time.
Yeah.
About my hometown.
Yeah.
Because it's so ridiculous.
It's great that your hometown has a murder solved. I guess it's better than having a murder unsolved.
But it's so ridiculous that it's funny.
Yeah.
I know the person who got murdered personally.
Oh.
So.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
I don't really know how to respond to that. I'm sorry for your loss.
No, I don't know, like, I don't know him really well.
But you knew of him.
I knew of him. My family knew him really well. But.
Yeah.
But the way he was, like, the way the whole situation happened is so chaotic, so crazy that I'm just like, should I do it next week to kind of end 2020? Are you there? Fat Mark.
Hear me?
Now I can.
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Yeah, no. It seems appropriate. It seems appropriate to end this shit show of a year with that.
Yeah, because I feel bad because it is recent. Like, I mean, like...
How recent are we talking?
Like 6 years ago.
Okay, that's not that bad. I thought you were going to be like, last year, 2018 or something. No.
Yeah, because the person got convicted, like, 2016?
Yeah, no, that's fine. That's still like 4 years ago.
Yeah, and I'm just like, it is so insane that it needs to be told.
Yeah.
Like...
Go for it.
Oh,
Tell me all about it next week.
if people get offended by how much I laugh about it, I'm so sorry. But it's...
Sure they'll survive.
It's mental. Like, it is the most mental thing I've ever... And I'll learn more about it than what I know.
Yeah.
Let me just say, it's a 3-time tries.
Wow. Cool.
He doesn't die the first time.
Yeah.
Or the second. He dies the third.
All right. Stop telling me about anything else. I want to hear about it next week.
Okay.
Oh, no.
I know, it's so bad. Okay, I'm going to go and raid my good friend Freckle Fox. Moon Freckle Fox.
Nice.
She also just got affiliate, so... Yes. They are currently playing Stardew Valley, I'm pretty sure.
I love Stardew Valley.
Yeah. So let's have a go over there. Yep, that's right.
Nice.
I got it. Okay, thank you all for coming. It was really fun.
Yeah, no.
I really enjoyed
awesome.
it. I'm going to do this every Monday now. This is great.
Let's go for it.
Okay, bye, Apom. I will be on Wednesday doing more free games, so I will see you then.
Yeah.
Okay, bye all.
Bye.
Okay, good. Got it.
Awesome.
Yeah. Thank you.
No, that's okay. That was awesome.
Yeah, it was fun.